Are we live right now? Are we live? Are we Coolio? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Are we live? Are we live right now, y'all? I think we're live. All right, so let me just make sure we're good on YouTube, guys. I'm here to explain to you all the craziness that's going on with iOS 14. Because you're going to get a million emails this week and next week and last week about iOS 14, the changes coming to Facebook. Everybody look out. And so I just wanted to quickly, once and for all, because I did this a while ago, but I didn't have as much information as I have now, and the stream got all effed up. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen this time, and this can just live as our end-all, be-all answer to what's going on with iOS 14. So ideally, if you're watching this video, you are a musician or a music marketer. You use Facebook ads, and you're getting a whole bunch of info about how iOS 14 is going to ruin your life. Normally, I wouldn't be coming here on this day because it's a music day. As you can see, the backdrop set up behind me. We're ready to shoot some vids. But it was important that I came here. Oh, the description on YouTube is off. All right. Let me just fix that real quick. So, for those of you who don't know, basically, iOS 14 represents some changes to the Apple mobile platform. What the change is, and I'm going to describe it on a whiteboard here. Let me just delete this and bring us over to a whiteboard. All right, we got our whiteboard here, and I'm just going to pull up a screen share so I can show y'all what's going on, all right? So, iOS 14, what did they want to do, right? Here's your Apple mobile device, right? Here's your little Apple mobile device. Now, when you go and you visit an app on your Apple mobile device and you pull open that app, right? Let's say that app developer wants Facebook to be able to run ads on that app, right? So when that app gets opened, now let's say like you open the app and it's open and you got your little icon here and your little thing. So when you open this app, if it's a free app, they're going to show you what? An ad, right? We got our little, I'm so bad at this. We got our little ad right here, right? Facebook needs to know when a user clicks on that ad and then ends up on Safari. Safari browser, right? And their little basketball to represent the world. when you end up on Safari browser, and I guess I'll put little SAF here for it's Safari. They need to be able to say, hey, this user clicked on this ad over here, or this Facebook user clicked on this ad, and they ended up on this website. Now, when you're on the website, they're using a little pixel to identify you as a Facebook user by your IP and by other data, which is your mobile ID. When you're on Safari, they're using a mobile ID that's unique to your Apple device in order to track you. When you're on an app, they're using what's called an IDFA, which is Identity for Advertisers, okay? So you click on this ad and they identify you by your IDFA. You go over to Safari and they identify you by your mobile ID and they know that this IDFA is the same as this mobile ID. So now they can track what you're doing and they can attribute anything you do on Safari back to this ad over here. You following me so far? So what Apple is doing with iOS 14 is it's removing this. No more IDFA. This has two consequences. One is if you're on a free app that's ad supported and you click on the ad, you can't be tracked from that. Facebook can't know what user you are when you're on this free app unless you opt in. So you're going to get that little box and it's going to say, hey, do you want to be tracked? And you're like, no, I don't want to be tracked. And now they can't see who you are. So when you get over here, yes, they know who you are by your mobile ID, but they don't know what ad you clicked on. They have no idea because Apple is removing the IDFA, making it opt-in only, okay? The other consequence is if you're an app developer, if you're making one of these apps, right? Let's go all the way back here. If you're making one of these apps, you probably want to use Facebook ads to get users, right? So you know, let's say we have a desktop here, right? And someone's on Facebook and they're scrolling their newsfeed, right? They're looking at posts and then they see an ad. They see an ad for your little app, right? And they click on it. I'm just gonna draw this here. They click on it and it opens on their phone to install the app, right? Now, when they install it, you can't actually attribute that install back to the ad because the IDFA has been deprecated, okay? We're tracking so far? So that's what's happening. The IDFA is being deprecated, made opt-in. Why this doesn't matter for us? Because we're not app developers. And let me make that very, very clear. We're not app developers. We don't give a flying fuck if they deprecate IDFA, okay? They're trying to make you give an F. And that's where I want to establish what's going on truly. What's truly going on. Because they're gonna make you think, oh, Apple's trying to ruin small businesses. Oh, Facebook wants to track all of your stuff and they're trying to be this like big brother type entity, right? None of that's true. What we're viewing and what you're getting all these emails about and what all this is about is competition. It's competition, it's money, right? So let's talk about money. When Apple, and I'm gonna do my best to draw a shitty apple. Here's our shitty little apple, right? When Apple, right? Apple creates iOS, they have an app store, and we'll just put app store here, right? Now, if you buy an app off of the app store, right, that costs money. So let's say we have our little app here, right? Here's your app. Now, if this is, it costs money, when you buy it, Apple gets a percentage, right? But if instead your app is ad supported, it's free, Apple doesn't get shit. Apple doesn't get anything. You know who gets something? Our buddies over here. Facebook gets ad revenue from the, they're basically Facebook is getting ad revenue from advertisers and sharing it with this app developer. So they're getting money, but Apple is left completely out of this equation. So this is why, and I was told this, this is not my unique idea. Someone said this to me and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense, right? So it's not mine. I didn't come up with this. Someone said it to me and I was like, that adds so much resolution to what I've been like wondering. Like, why are they making it seem like we are supposed to care about this? Because Apple doesn't get money from the app, the iOS app that is free and ad supported. Only Facebook and the app make money. Apple's left out of that transaction. So what do? They deprecate the IDFA. They deprecate it. They make it opt-in. Now, the incentive on this app company is to create a paid version of their app because they're not going to get as much money from ad revenue anymore. They're screwed when it comes to this whole transaction right here because advertisers won't want to use their placement. They won't want to advertise in their app because they can't track the conversions when it goes over to Safari, right? When it goes over to Safari, they can't track the conversions. So Apple is deprecating the IDFA simply because it's going to cause naturally a flow of apps to a paid subscription platform, a paid subscription revenue model, right? That Apple now gets a cut of. So instead of Facebook getting, half of all of the ad dollars, and I'm just going to put ad dollars here, instead of Facebook getting half and the advertiser getting half, this changes. Now, Facebook gets nothing, right? This app developer gets, their large cut of the pie, and the App Store gets the other cut. So Apple's cutting out Facebook. What do you think Facebook's gonna do? Do you think Facebook's chill about this? No, they just got completely cut out of half of a revenue share. So they're pissed at Apple. They are so pissed. And they're trying to make a big fuss to get you all incensed, right? And what they're saying is, hey, you advertiser who's used to advertising on our platform, right? You're used to placing ads in our newsfeed. You should know Apple's trying to ruin small business. They want to ruin small business. They're trying to fuck up all of your ads are going to be affected. Oh, doom and gloom. Apple's basically stabbing your ad revenue, your revenue that comes from your advertising activities, when really that's not what's going on. And I'll tell you an important reason why that is. Let's clear this board a little bit real quick. As I said before, right? When you are on an app and you're not logged in with Facebook and there's no other reason for this app to know who you are on Facebook, the way that they can know who you are and thereby serve ads is the IDFA. And that's why this is really important, guys. The IDFA, that's how they know when you're on some third-party application, not Facebook, not some application where someone's logged in using their Facebook login, because then Facebook knows who you are, but only when there's no other connection between you as a user, when there's no other way to identify you, right? And I'll put a little question mark here. The IDFA is used to identify you. And that's only when you're on some iOS app that has no other data on you. This is being deprecated. So now they don't know who you are when you're on this app. But if you click off this app and you go to Safari, and I'm going to put Safari here. When you go onto Safari, this is not what's used. They're not using this to track you on Safari. They're using a mobile ID. And what's happening with the mobile ID in iOS 14? Nothing. Nothing is happening with the mobile ID. So all of your current advertising activities are protected. They're safe. iOS 14 doesn't impact any of us who do all of our stuff as it pertains to iOS right here. We shouldn't give an F, dude. We shouldn't care. This is just a war between Facebook and Apple over revenue. Either you make a paid app with no ad support and Apple gets paid, or you make a free app with ad support and Facebook gets paid. Facebook gets paid more, right? So this is just a war between megalithic tech companies. It has absolutely nothing to do with us. Your ads won't be impacted. So let's move on, right? Facebook announced all these changes to the Facebook advertising platform in response to the IDFA deprecation in iOS 14. They announced all these changes. They made it seem like, hey, we're changing the pixel, we're changing how you optimize your ads, changing everything because we have to because of iOS 14. Not true. It's not true. There's nothing about iOS 14 at a fundamental tech level, and I've been through the documentation, I've looked at everything. There is nothing at a tech level that forces Facebook to change its pixel because it's except as it pertains to mobile app installs. All the conversion events related to mobile apps, those do have to change. But when it comes to standard events, when it comes to purchases and leads and add to carts, they don't have to change shit unless it occurs in a mobile app. So all of us advertisers who don't advertise on mobile apps, don't give an F about mobile apps, we don't have to change anything. Facebook is only changing it to wake you up. Hey guys, we have a big war going on with Apple. Get on our side. They're frigging you over, dude. They're not though. They're not. This doesn't involve us. It doesn't involve us who don't advertise on mobile apps, don't use Audience Network in-app as a placement on our Facebook ads. Don't give an F about mobile apps. Aren't trying to get users to install a mobile app. We don't have to care. All of the changes are cosmetic changes as it pertains to our activities. They don't matter. okay? And no one's gonna tell you this. Everyone's gonna tell you it's the apocalypse. One of their reasons is that, hey, if all this ad tracking goes away, that ad tracking is not contributing to the data we use to optimize our ads. So, you know, we're gonna lose overnight all of the conversion events and data that those apps were contributing to the whole pie. And all of that conversion data helps our ads to optimize. It gives more training data to the machine learning algorithm and allows it to optimize better. So if that's true, which it is true that any conversion events that happen as it pertains to an iOS app do contribute to how effective your Facebook ads are. How much do they contribute? How much do they contribute? Important thing to understand. Audience network percentage of ad buys. So ultimately, what you got to ask is, how much of the conversion data entering Facebook's platform about users comes from audience network in-app? Almost none. Almost zero. Compared to website conversions, compared to Facebook newsfeed, almost none. Okay? And what's important to realize here, in case anyone's, I'm not looking at the comments yet, but in case anyone has something to say about this, I just want to make something clear. Because there is an argument to this that's like doom and gloomers could raise, right? Which is, and let me pull up screen share here. If I'm on this mobile app, right? Let's say I'm on Facebook, right? I'm on the Facebook app on an Apple device, right? I'm on Facebook on an Apple device, and they're tracking me using the IDFA, right? And then I click over to a website on Safari, right? I click over to a website on Safari. I've opted out of IDFA tracking as it pertains to Facebook. I clicked the no. So doesn't that mean they can't track me? Right? Well, you're asking an important question here. Doesn't that mean that Facebook doesn't know who I am here, only here? And I think you guys can answer this for yourself. Does Facebook know who you are when you're logged into Facebook with your user profile? Do they need this if you're logged in to the fucking application? No, they don't, dude. No, they do not. Because you're logged in with the actual base data structure that they add your mobile ID to. They add your IDFA to your base data structure, which is your user profile. That stuff gets added as metadata, right? It's not the actual base thing. So anytime you're logged into Facebook, and this is whether you're using sign in with Facebook or whether you're on the Facebook application, Facebook knows who you are. They don't need this. This doesn't matter. The IDFA doesn't matter for Facebook. It matters for other apps. Other apps are affected, not Facebook, because Facebook knows who you are when you're logged into Facebook. It's a very important point to make. So, how does this impact us? It almost doesn't at all. If you're like me, either a small business owner or a musician using advertising to grow your business, and you don't have a mobile app and you're not trying to advertise on a mobile app, it doesn't affect you one iota. Facebook's trying to make it seem like, and causing a bunch of unnecessary changes to make it seem like it affects you. Why? To mobilize you to fight Apple, because Apple's about to steal a huge chunk of revenue away from Facebook. Huge. But compared to website conversion ads, compared to all the other types of ads, it's almost nothing, dude. So Facebook will not be the dominant way. So, okay, and back to the conversion data argument, just to quickly wrap it up. When you say, oh, we're gonna lose all this conversion data, Facebook won't be able to optimize as well because it's not as smart, it doesn't have as much data. The data is growing every day. Before this change, right? Every single placement is contributing more data every day to the pool. Now we're cutting out Audience Network. All of Audience Network? No. Audience Network in-app. All of Audience Network in-app? No. Audience Network in-app iOS. We're talking about a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. Who gives a fuck, dude? Nobody. Nobody should give an F about this. Don't go to webinars describing the business changes to Facebook. Don't, and this, okay, let me clarify. This is my personal opinion. The guys who run our agency, they're a little bit more scared than I am because I don't have to bear the fallout of all this. They do. Okay, so they're scared because of all the other changes going on. They see my argument, I've explained it to them, and they understand the validity of the individual points, but that doesn't mean they don't have to go through a bunch of operational red tape in order to deal with these changes that Facebook is arbitrarily placing on its advertisers. So I'm not here to say that like you're an idiot if you're worried at all, because you might have other reasons to be worried. But don't panic. Don't panic, okay? Because our ability to track conversions, the amount of conversion data that we have to optimize around, the amount of machine learning data that we have to train the Facebook algorithm on, it's going to be more next year, not less. No matter what, it's going to be more, not less. Things get better, not worse, as it pertains to information technologies. This is an optimist view. I'm a technological optimist. But you know what? In 31 years of life, I have never suffered any consequences for being a supreme technological optimist. There are no consequences for doing so because when something becomes an information technology, boom, it starts a rock and roll uptrend to infinity. That's what happens. Music became information technology. Boom. Large increase in consumption of music. Money became information technology with cryptocurrency. Boom. Large. Right? Large. Medical, certain aspects of the medical field became information technology. Finance became information technology, right? Documents became information technology. DNA became information technology, right? We had the DNA project. It took us 15 years to get half of the way. And in the final 5 years, we got more than half of the way to decoding the DNA, the genome. Why? Because when a technology becomes information technology, it doubles almost every year, regardless, and that's compounding. So not double from the base, double from whatever it was last year. And the Facebook ads algorithm is an information technology. It's going to get better probably, not worse, regardless of if Apple deprecates and makes opt-in the mobile ID, I'll be the first one here to be like, F, we're screwed, right? As it pertains to iOS. But they're not doing that yet. They haven't even announced that they're planning on doing that. They haven't even given any evidence that they'd be interested in doing that. Why? Because it would be it's not just the Facebook pixel that would affect. It would affect a lot. So I'm sure they want to do it, but it's just so fundamental to how the internet is built that I don't think they're going to like try to change the architecture of the entire internet to sway to their wants. Furthermore, they have no incentive to do it, right? Because you're using Safari, you're using an iOS device. There's no money to be made. There's money to be made here, right? Cancel IDFA, make it opt-in. Now all these app developers are going to make their app a paid app. And now revenue from App Store will increase. So there's a definite monetary incentive to do this. There is not one for the mobile ID on Safari. I don't think they're going to deprecate it unless Facebook keeps on talking wise. Facebook keeps on yipping at Apple's heels. They're going to do something drastic. So don't buy into the hype, guys. That's my message. My message is, don't go to a 2-hour webinar this week that's in your email about the major changes to business on Facebook. Don't do it, because I've just explained to you how they're trying to trick you into giving a fuck about this. You don't have to. You really don't have to. Unless you're an app developer, by all means, it's apocalypse for you, as it pertains to iOS. But other than that, don't worry. And I hope that this serves as an official position statement about music marketing as it pertains to iOS 14 and anyone else. If you're not an app developer, you also don't have to worry about this. Not just music marketers. All marketers don't have to worry about this so much unless they're an app developer or they use Audience Network in-app placements and that's your bread and butter. Otherwise, check out. Tune it out. It doesn't matter. Until you hear opt-in mobile ID, just tune it out, dude. And I hope that helps. I'm going to check real quick if there's any comments. I just want to make sure I'm answering any questions. Outrage Circa is best Circa. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm really outraged because of all the emails I've been getting and all the doom and gloom rhetoric. It's just so annoying. It's like, guys, has anyone looked into this for even a second, dude? Can you just look into it for a second? Because like every publication is just repeating what Facebook sent out in their official notice and not even just look into it. Just look into it, dude. Just do a half hour of reading like I did. Tear into some documentation and you'll find that this actually doesn't matter at all. Notice. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, cool. Obvious is an optimist too. Good, dude. You should be a tech optimist. You should be. My Google thought that I've said, shut up, Google. Okay, Google. Shut up. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here because now Google's trying to enter into the conversation. And that's just too many tech companies at once. So yeah, guys, don't believe these exasperated, fanatic, doomsters, because they haven't even read into it for 2 seconds. New page designs. Oh, for Facebook, I wouldn't worry about it, dude. No one visits your page anyways, except after first touch. Who visits? Seriously, you know that, right? No one visits your page after first touch. First touch, oh, I'm going to go investigate. Do they come back? No. Then it gets served to their newsfeed. So they don't visit your page a whole lot. I wouldn't worry about it. It's not a high impact variable. Much more high impact is what is your first touch. And then you can direct them. There's different strategies you can employ to direct them. It set off your Google, I just set off Google speakers and I just arbitrarily told all your Googles to shut up. Guys, it's music day. I got to get onto my music career tasks. But I hope that this has been informative. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it calms your mind. You're not going to experience massive, sudden, deleterious effects from iOS 14 unless you're a mobile app designer for iOS. If you're not that, tune it out. That's my advice. The agency guys might disagree with me, but that's my advice.